So this video is about what happens if you have a child who, or somebody, or a friend, or maybe even you, who you've been trying to do something and it just doesn't come out right for whatever reason. So for me, the other day, I was actually I saw my son and he was about to cry and he was feeling really bad. He had had actually a pretty bad week and he had just recently tried to do something and it didn't work out for him. So uh, it failed, and he looks at me and he says, "Dad," he's like, "Why?" He's like, I'm a loser. I can't do anything right." And that just broke my heart. Uh, but he's not. He's a very smart boy, whether he realizes it or not, and he doesn't realize it is the thing. And one thing I really wanted to stress to him is that when you try something new, it's not going to work out exactly the way you want it to. It's just not. And instead of thinking about what you're doing in terms of I'm either a success or I'm a failure, if it kind of turns out right, the way you should treat it is, um, if you're doing something, treat it as a learning experience. So it's like the first time you do it, just already have it in your mind that I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to try like an experiment. What you do is you say, "Oh, I'm going to try to do this way, and let me see how it turns out. If it if I do it this way and it comes out in some fashion, it's either going to turn out the way I thought it would or it's not. And if it doesn't, then I'll be like, okay, that's all right. It didn't come out the way I thought it was, but that's totally all right. Let me go back and see where I could change or where I can make adjustments. So when I do try to do it again, that it comes out the way I want it to. It's like when people first start to learn how to walk, they get up, or they don't get up, they try to get up, and most of the time they can't because they've never done it before. But they're going to try it and try it and try it until they finally get it right. um, and one thing you have to do is, like, when you feel down or you feel like a loser, you have to understand is that whenever you try something, it's not going to come out exactly the way you think it should. Yeah. And if it does, well, then that's great, and if it doesn't, hey, that's okay too. But what you got to do is just uh, is to think of it in a way that it's not black and white, which it's not failure or success. It's just it came out in this way. And it doesn't mean that you failed at it. It just means that what you tried to do came out in this way. And so instead of doing it the way you did it before, is we'll try it a little bit differently and try it again and see how that turns out. And that's probably that's much easier said than done. I know a few times I've been working on something and the dang thing just would not come out right. Like, for instance, I was at this house and I was trying to tone out some lines, which, uh, well, for what I was doing, I had to send a signal through a line, and I had to find out which line it was, and it just so happens that there's maybe like six different lines coming out of one area, and they split off throughout the entire house. Anyhow, so you just have to go on there and send a signal through one of them, try to find where it's coming out. And that's all you have to do. But I mean, I did that to every single one and it wouldn't come up for some reason. And it turns out it was just a bad piece of equipment that I was using. But that was very frustrating. But in those times when you're doing something and it's so frustrating, what you should realize is that during those times is when you're actually learning the absolute most. Because when all those emotions are charged through you, you're actually remembering everything much better. So do yourself a favor and try to look on the positive side of it. And so for me, for instance, now that I know with that was such a frustrating experience for me, that, well, next time I go to a house to do this, uh, I'm gonna get a different piece of equipment because the ones I have just don't work for it. So when you talk to your kid, or when you're trying to do something in yourself and it just doesn't come out right, just try to think of it in terms of it's like an experiment, and that, or maybe like a recipe for cooking chicken, and you're using certain ingredients, and it's not as if or let's say you're trying to cook it for a certain amount of time, just whatever, it doesn't matter. Just try something else and try to think of it in a way that it's as if you're trying something with certain steps. And some of those steps won't always work. And sometimes some of the steps will work. You just have to find out which one of the steps is the ones that you need and which ones you don't. So think of it that way. So if you're doing something and it doesn't come out right, just think of it as, oh, okay, well, this step in the process didn't work. Don't think of it as, oh, I suck. It's not. Don't even go there, because it's not going to help you, and it's going to make you feel awful. And it's probably going to be incorrect. It's does that one step in cooking a chicken, if one step is incorrect, it doesn't that it just means that one step is incorrect. It doesn't mean that you're a failure or that you're not good at it. It doesn't mean that at all. You could be the greatest chef or the greatest cook or anything, and you can make one small mistake in some certain area that you've overlooked, and that'll ruin the whole thing. But you know what? For the next time when that happens, you'll be able to fix it. And in the future, guess what? Maybe somebody else is going to go through the same thing, and you'll be that expert that can help them on that one silly mistake, on that one silly step that nobody else could think of, but you went through it. And I know I've gone through plenty of these instances too. So, if I'm hoping that by listening to me, that'll help you, because I know in so many times I felt so awful, and I wish somebody would have been there to tell me, you know what, there's just some step that is incorrect, and if you just go back and find that one step, everything is going to go golden. And honestly, sometimes it takes a while, but all you can really do is just keep going, because I guarantee you, if you keep going, you're going to feel much better than if you just stop or if you quit. Because if you quit or you stop, I can tell you from my own experiences that it makes you feel worse in the long run. In the short run, I don't know, but in the long run, it definitely makes you feel worse. So anyhow, I really hope that this has helped you, and I only hope for the best for you guys. All right, so have a good day.